Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video. This time around I am guiding you through the Shadow's Eve event there's in Trove. I was about to say it's the Halloween event. It is a Halloween event, but I'd want to use the real word first. But it's from the 4th, it's till the 4th of November, but it's from the 21st of October to the 4th of November. So we actually got it a day late, but we're also getting it a day later or another day. Usually they use it on Tuesday or release it on Tuesday, but they also do all the patches and stuff like that, both for the consoles and for the PC and stuff like that on Tuesday. So I think it's actually a really good idea that they move it to a Wednesday. Doesn't really matter which day it's gonna start on, but they can focus on getting the patches out on Tuesday and then do the events things on Wednesday. So I think it's a good. I don't say it's a good change because we don't know if it's gonna be like that forever, but I think it's a good idea. So I hope they're gonna stick with releasing it on a Wednesday or a Thursday. It doesn't matter really to me, but kind of get those separated basically, instead of having issues maybe with this a patch and then you can't do the event right away, even though you have 14 days to complete it and it's very, very simple. So not really much more to say than that, but of course if it doesn't show up for you in the event tab, there's of course also the 14 days daily thingy that we are used to. Today it's upgrading a gem, then tomorrow it's doing adventures, and then Friday some dragon coins and stuff like that, so on, right? Like we are used to. And of course I'll link to Trovosaurus in the description so you guys can check out which day it's or the days, if that does matter to you. But it's the same as it's been like for the last 2 years, or at least a year and a half with these events here. But what I wanted to say with this is that I think the daily one always shows up for you. I don't think there's any difference to that. But at least the, step number 0 is that you have to be Mastery 10 for this to show up for you. So if you want to do the quest line, this is, you do have to be Mastery 10. So if it doesn't show up for you, that's because you're not Mastery 10, Trove Mastery 10, that is. So just get to that, and then of course you can, start doing all these. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys in the intro, and now we're gonna do a cool transition into step number 1. Sorry guys, but I do have to interrupt myself before we start on step number 1. I do have to correct myself around where you are going to find these pumpkin dungeons. You are going to find them in most biomes. In the Neon City biome, there is a few places you won't find them, but you won't find them out in these elemental worlds either. So out here and all in U10. I haven't tested it though, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't been so in other years. So to get this guide out a little bit faster, I haven't tested it. But if you guys see them in there, in the elemental worlds or in the U10 at your top side, please let me know in the comments. But usually it should be in all the other worlds, and I want to correct that. And also, you only get the candy corn from the pumpkin biomes. You don't get them from every dungeon. It's only from the pumpkin dungeons themselves. And I did all of mine in U9, and I got 4 per dungeon. So I don't know if it's a difference for how many you get per, if it's always 4. If it is, that's cool. But if it's not, then you know why you're not getting 4 as I was getting 4, because you need a lot of them, or not a lot of them, but a few of them to complete all of the steps. But I just wanted to interrupt myself before we headed into, step number 1, which is going to be here. So enjoy the guide. Alright, so step number 1 is to meet Qubesly in the hub, and as you can see, it has changed a little bit to fit the theme. This is of course also the new hub, and this is also now the new hub on consoles because it came out for those yesterday. And as I went over some time ago, which is what, over here is the event station or place. So this is going to change, and right now we have a haunted house as the building that we also have to enter to meet Qubesly. It says right here to do so. And we also have the Radiant Spring, which we also are use for some different events and stuff like that. But as you can see right in here, we got some different quests. So there's some daily quests. I'm just gonna pick one up so you guys can see it. So you get more of these spooky treasure boxes to complete some of these right here. I'm gonna remove this for now. I'll do some probably later. And of course this one over here is also the same thing, and same thing over here. And the one we have to talk to is of course Qubesly, and he has there, and we just have to tap it, and then it is done with step number 1. And not much more to do that, but more into step number 2. Alright guys, so step number 2 is to use the crafting table. It's a little bit crowded right now, but right next to Qubesly, as we just talked to him, but right next to him there is the shadowy station, and in here in the Shadowy Eve 2020, this is also where you can craft a bunch of collection stuff and whatnot. Some cost you pumpkins, some of them cost you candy corn. And I can really quickly, the pumpkins, of course, you can craft those, or not craft them, but you can grow them if you want to. But you can also, there's also a big pumpkin dungeons where there's only like pumpkins in them in the peaceful areas. So peaceful area and in there. And the candy corn is from defeating dungeons. So when you defeat a dungeon, you destroy the chest in the end, it's going to give you some of these here candy corn. And of course these are going to disappear after Shadow's Eve is done. But what we're doing in step number 2 is to craft one of these shadowy solutions, and it's going to cost you some glim, some mushrooms chunks, and some sharp shaped stone ore. I always say that wrong. And some bottles. And if you don't have any of these, of course you can go mine the ore and the bottles. You can also find around, but you can also just buy them off the marketplace if that. But it's not too many. But as you craft one of these, we're gonna get 10 of these. So with one craft, we are going to get 1. So you just need materials 1 time. So here I'm just going to craft 1, and that's gonna be what we need to do for step number 2, and we can head into step number 3. Alright, so step number 3 is to throw these 10 solutions that we got. So you can see it's in my hotbar right down here, and you just have to throw them, and they are going to, you can see I used 1 solutions. So I think it's kind of like it's going to give us some clues to or how we are going to fix all of this. And each time I do this, they're gonna throw throw a new message at us, and that's a pretty cool little something. Investigate shadowy things, maybe cure something, maybe it's something to do with it, some I don't know. And of course here we go, Vale something. That's of course the cursed veil. The last here, cursed veils, and the last, there we go. And of course you can throw these pretty quick. I just wanted to do it a little bit slower for you guys to do so. So that was step number 3. So we can head into step number 4. Alright, so step number 4 is to defeat, it says dungeons, plural, but you just have to do 1 dungeon. That's at least what I've heard at least. So we're gonna do 1 dungeon. And I went into the Cursed Valley world. That's one of the first one, but you can do it in any world that has a Cursed Valley veil. It says right here what it is if you press escape on PC. At least I don't know what you press on consoles, but how'd you get this one out there? So we're just gonna run in, do a dungeon. Yeah, I think it can also be the 3-star dungeon, but I guess this is one of the dungeons that is actually there all the time. But let's just do this one here. We have to kill a specific guy later on, but we'll really quickly just do this one. Just gonna run it real quick, get in here and get the mushroom guy. And yeah, it only was 1 dungeon, and I'm just going to complete this here step so we can head into step number 5. Alright guys, step number 5 is to find and destroy these pumpkin dungeons, and don't mix them up with the pumpkin patches dungeons, the ones that are filled with pumpkins. Those are just for collecting ones, or the dungeons, or not the dungeons, the pumpkins, that's what I mean. But you can find dungeon or pumpkin dungeons in all biomes, and I found one right here in the, Drake Fire one, and they are all themed around that. So you can find them anywhere. They're just like regular dungeons, and you have to defeat 3 of them. And I'm just gonna run through one of them. So you always go in through the top, and it has a different layout all the way through. So I'm just gonna jump real quick all the way down, and here is you know, a guy. And all you have to do is just defeat him. And there was actually the guy you have to kill later on. And as you can see, I got candy corn for defeating this one here. So I do have to do 2 more of this. So I'll go out and I'll find the next 2 and complete step number 5. But I'll see you guys in step number 6. Okay, so step number 6 is to knock out Tombstorm. I think that's how he's supposed to be named, but you saw it in the basically in the previous video, or not video, but this previous step, that when you defeat these pumpkin dungeons, you know, they do he does pop out sometimes. So you just have to keep doing these pumpkin dungeons, and sometimes he is going to, you know, show up. So you just have to keep finding them in biomes. I found one here in, you know, in the Desert Frontier biome. So I'm just gonna run around and see if I can't figure out to find them. So the step is basically just keep doing these. He's fairly common to find. So yeah, I'm just gonna run around, find them, and complete step number 6. And yes, like I said, do more pumpkin dungeons. And with that said, we can head into step number 7. Alright guys, so step number 7 is to refill our flasks. And I haven't used any of my flasks, but I could use ones if I needed to. But I think you just go to one of your rejuvenation stations. You can do this on your you know, you can do this on your cornerstone, or you can do as I am doing it in our club, which is shamelessly plugged right here, that you can join if you want to. We do have some shrines and stuff like that, pretty easy to join. All you have to do is just message me on Discord or ask in a general channel if somebody can invite you, because every member can do so. But that was a shameless plug, sorry for that. But let's refill our flasks. And okay, so that didn't work, so let me use a few of them. You do have to use one of them. You can't just do it from if you have full. So use a few of them and then use it as that. And that was step number 7 and a plug for the club. And I hope you guys you know, enjoyed step number 7. Let's get into step number 8. Alright, so for step number 7, we have to do a few steps before that, or small mini steps, as you can you can see here. We are still in the club, but what you have to do is that you have to use your novice crafting bench, and you have to craft yourself a builder's crafting bench. If you haven't already done that, you know, a builder's crafting bench, and then you use your crafting or builder's crafting bench, and you craft yourself a decorations thing. Under blocks and decorations, here you are going to find the haunted crafting bench. It's going to cost you a little bit of infinium and some of the blue ore as well to craft one of these. If you already crafted this, you don't have to do this again. It's just so you can make a purple torch. And you make a purple torch inside of the Cursed Valley decorations. You need a torch as well, and that you craft in the Highland workbench. You can find that in the same place. You can see if I go right back here on the decorations, there should be a Highland right there. You can craft that one. It's going to cost you the same materials, but you need to make a Highland one as well. Again, if you have already made it, you don't have to, but here you do have to craft a torch. It's going to cost you 1 per mortal flame and some of the purple ore. So we're going to craft one of these first. And then we're going to head back to the haunted crafting bench. And here we have access to the blue one. Don't make that one. You have to make the purple one. It's going to take another primordial flame and some purple, primal purple blocks and just the torch we made before. So we craft that one. And we need that for getting into building the altar. So I will see you guys right in the hub. Alright, so we are now in the hub, and we need to go back to where Qubesly was and the shadowy station, because here we have to make the lunar altar. So the lunar altar cost you 100 candy corn and 100 of these eye of I don't know, cupula or something like that. These are just from you know, loot collecting rare gear, so just get these, but you can also buy them off the marketplace. They cost nothing, and we need that purple torch as we talked about before. That's why I had to show you this, because this is not like a super known item in like that sense, you know. It doesn't tell you how to you know, get the torch and whatnot, but we have to build the lunar lunar altar, and we're gonna do so right now, and that's gonna complete us step number 8, and we can now go into step number 9. Alright guys, for step number 9, we have to help other acolytes, and these acolytes are the guys that are standing on the sides. I showed you guys that in the beginning. You just have to help these guys, and they are going to give you different quests, daily quests that you can do. And I picked up the one where you have to collect 3 pumpkins, and the 3 pumpkins are of course from the pumpkin plane ones. I have one right over there. So what I did, of course I went to the cursed Vale world. It doesn't have to, but it has to be in one of these, and I told you guys this before. And as I think this is going to complete it, I haven't done it before, so I'm pretty sure that this is going to, I collect 1, 2, and 3, and yes, that was it. So I completed the quest I had in there, and I also completed the step number 9, and I got to get the little here mount that we were able to see if I can actually put it on. Recently acquired, where are you? There you are. Oh, equipped, sorry. Recently acquired, there it is. All right, so it's a little, oh, it's one of these guys. Oh, it's so cool. I love these guys. Is it actually made by, no, okay. Because Sky the Rider, or Sky, you know, Sky Rider and Sky the Virus, they made a bunch of these, but not this one, I guess, of all of them. But anyways, that was the guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Cool little event, actually longer than I expected. And you know, if this guide was helpful to you, make sure you guys like and subscribe. It helps me out very much and super much appreciated. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.